Hello everyone, good morning. How are you guys doing today? So before I start, if you can hear me loud and clear, let me know in the chat. Is my voice and my audio, is everything good? Let me know in the chat, and after that we can start. Thank you everyone. So I'm using background music again, so I hope I'm not gonna be getting like any copyright strike this time. Anyway, let's start with NQ. I'm not looking at dollar. I'm gonna be trading completely without looking at dollar. Okay, so we had our relative equal highs here on NQ. I'm on weekly chart on Nasdaq. I'm using the C-mini chart today. Before I was using like the regular CFD charts from capital.com, then currency.com brokers. But yesterday our mentor introduced to us a new strategy that goes by like the regular trading hours strategy. So for me to use that, I'll have to use the C-mini chart. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And we had our relative equal high here on the weekly chart. The strong buy side liquidity, price came all the way up, cleared it out. Okay, I'm just giving you a narrative. I'll talk about the current price action, and price is now retracing. Okay, this retracement, everyone's gonna trust it like price is gonna go a lot down than this. Yes, I'm bearish too, but I'm hoping to see a little bit of retracement towards the buy side liquidity. Today we have two high impact news at 8:30, the unemployment claims, and then like at 10 o'clock I guess someone is testifying, the Fed chair. So I'm gonna drop down to the daily chart, and I'm gonna talk about like what I see and what I'm gonna be targeting today. What's my point of interest? This fair value gap on daily chart, this candle low, this candle high, that makes a fair value gap here. That's a BC, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. I'm gonna be targeting this. Price is so close to it. So what I want to see, price using this BC to get support towards buy side liquidity. Okay, I will explain why I want to see price retracing back to the discount. Price is now sorry, in premium. In buy side we have our premium liquidities, so I'm expecting to see price going there in the premium zone, and I will explain it when I drop down to the lower time frame. But from the daily chart, that's my point of interest. That's the drawn liquidity. That's what I see for price to tap into, and most possibly at 8:30 news I want to see price stepping inside here. Then at 10 o'clock price, I want to see price going for the buy side liquidity. Okay, and 9:30 delivery, I also want to see that delivery towards the buy side liquidity. Once I drop down to the lower time frame, things will make a lot more sense. So what do you see here? I'm on the 4-hour chart on the Nasdaq. We have our daily fair value gap somewhere here. I'm gonna toggle up my drawings. So this is our daily buy side liquidity, sorry, daily BC fair value gap. And do you guys see the relative equal lows that are here? Yes, price came all the way down, cleared, went below this low, so cleared out the sell side liquidity that was resting below this low specifically. Then it generated relative equal lows again here. So I know that I want to see price stepping inside this fair value gap. Okay, and now price is indicating to me by leaving signs. What kind of signs? By generating relative equal lows like this. Now I know the price will tap inside here. Okay, it's just manipulating right now. It's just going back to the premium before dipping inside this fair value gap. Okay, and I want to see price move from this fair value gap. If not, if price is retracing more towards the sell side liquidity, then do you guys see a fair value gap here with order block? So that makes this fair value gap a strong fair value gap because of the order block that it has right next to it. Okay, whenever you see a fair value gap and that comes with order blocks like this, that becomes a strong fair value gap. Okay, so this fair value gap is going to be our last line of defense in today's price action to expect like a hunt in buy side liquidity. I'm talking about this one. If price is coming all the way down and retracing from this BC, which is from the daily chart, then this is gonna be an ideal scenario. But price, if price is retracing a lot lower, okay, then I would like to see this BC working as well, and then we got the order blocks here. Okay, and if price is as I'm expecting, if price is doing something like this, retracing from this fair value gap, then this is gonna be my drawn liquidity, this 4-hour fair value gap here. And things will make a lot more sense once I start talking about the relative equal highs from the lower time frame. Okay, so this is my whole viewpoint on the higher time frame on 4-hour chart. Now I'm gonna drop down to the hourly. So price generated relative equal lows here. Do you guys see relative equal highs here? Yes, there is a lot of buy side liquidity resting above here. We have an unfilled fair value gap, so this is what we can target. I'm bullish on Nasdaq. Okay, I'm not bearish, but in the long term I'm bearish. But for today, I want to see price coming into the premium. So this is gonna be our 4-hourly buy side liquidity, sorry, fair value gap, CB, and this is from the hourly chart. This is what we can target. I'm expecting to see a tap inside this level right here, this CB. Once I toggle on the regular trading hours, it will make sense. But for now, I'm just gonna say, like, I want to see price coming all the way up here and going above this swing high. Okay, I have my logic and my narrative behind me expecting a price action that will deliver buy side liquidity here. Okay, and I also do have my logic. So it's not just like I'm expecting a run here without any logic and any narrative. No, I'm building a narrative here and I'm showing to you how I'm doing that. Relative equal lows down here. I want to see price stepping inside this BC. A lot of sell side liquidity is resting below this low. And now I'm going to drop down to the 50-minute chart where you will see the relative equal highs. and because of that I'm bullish. Okay, I'm basically a relative equal high and relative equal low trader. What do I mean by that? I like to target those levels. Okay, and as you can see here, relative equal high clean levels, then here at 15023, 15031, any price is going higher. Okay, that's what I'm expecting to see, higher price action. Then I would like to see price going above here. This is gonna be 15150.25 level. This is the level that I'm expecting to see price hunting. Okay, now I'm gonna share the logic, and for that to understand, you will have to watch the video that ICT released yesterday about one trading setup. There he introduced to us, like, he talked about the regular trading hours before, but he went a lot deeper yesterday in yesterday's live stream, and a lot of things got clear from his live stream yesterday. So thank you ICT for that, thank you mentor for that. So I'm gonna drop down to the 5-minute chart. So this was our PM session sell side liquidity. If you watched the yesterday's live stream, you will understand. Now I'm gonna toggle on the regular trading hours, where it looks very interesting. Just avoid these two drawings. This will make sense once I get back to the electronic trading hours. These levels are from that chart. So we had our PM session sell side liquidity from yesterday here. This is our PM session low, and we count the PM session hunt from the 1:30 till 4 o'clock. Sorry, the 5 o'clock, right? So we have our low here, lower low that took the PM session low from yesterday, and we have our PM session buy side liquidity from yesterday intact. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting to see. It's a very simple strategy. You mark out like the yesterday's PM session, 1:30 to 4 o'clock. VAPS, thank you. I think I say like 5 o'clock, right? No, it's not 5 o'clock. The PM session strategy that ICT was sharing yesterday is from 1:30 to 4 o'clock. So price cleared out the sell side liquidity right here. It's a very simple strategy. If you watch his video, can you guys hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me, because someone daily saying like, are you talking? Yes, I'm talking. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me or not. Thank you everyone. I think Dale, if you just check your microphone or something like YouTube settings, the problem is there. Okay, Dale, I'll start again, and this is the low. Price cleared it out, and as I was saying to you, if you don't understand and don't know what I'm talking about, just rewatch that video again, or watch that video from yesterday's live stream on ICT's official YouTube channel, and you will understand. It's a very simple strategy. So price cleared out the sell side liquidity right here, right? And we stopped here. We have our buy side liquidity intact here, and throughout the Asian session, in the London session, price generated a lot of relative equal highs for me to target it. Okay, that those relative equal highs are working as a extra confirmation for me to be bullish. Now I'm gonna be toggling back to the electronic trading hours. And as you can see, we have our London session sell side liquidity right here. Price came all the way down here, right? This is our London low, generated relative equal lows, and that makes this level a strong liquidity level. And what liquidity is resting below here? The sell side liquidity. So that's the reason I'm expecting to see price going below first, okay, tapping inside this BC, and then coming all the way up, providing like higher buy side liquidity. Relative equal highs, right? Our London highs, London high is gonna be here, somewhere here, and price cleared it out. Okay, so from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, that's the time that we are counting. Our 5 o'clock high is this one, so I'm gonna be considering like this one. Price cleared it out. So from the London session price action, price was efficient in delivering the buy side liquidity. After the London session ended, price retraced back, and I'm still hoping to see another retracement inside this BC. Okay, so this is the whole bias from my side on the NQ. This was our PM session low. That's where we stopped trading yesterday on the regular trading hours. And this was our PM session buy side liquidity. That's what I'm targeting. I hope you understand the whole logic point. And I don't need price to come all the way up here, right? If price, I'm not gonna be trading today in my live funds because of the high impact news. I basically strictly trade in the AM session. That's where I push buttons in my live funds, and I'm not gonna be doing it today as we have a 8:30 news, then a 10 o'clock news. And if I'm still tape reading after 10 o'clock, I'll look for setup. But today's session is completely gonna be like without looking for any setup, but watching like how price delivers. I'm not here with a mindset to be pushing button today, even on demo. I don't want to do it. I'm here to learn how price delivers. It's a high impact news trading day, and I have no interest to push button. That's it. On the NQ, I'm bullish. Okay, now I'm gonna be going to the US30 chart, my favorite Dow Jones. I'm gonna start with the daily chart here. We have a bullish order block right here, and if price is delivering, if Dow and NQ, if they both are delivering like together, then I want to see this order block working as a support. It's a bullish order blocks, right? So we expect to see price like providing liquidity from this order block towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, so that's the PDRA that I'm gonna be taking from the daily chart, this order block. Other than that, we have a fair value gap right here, a small another fair value gap that makes this small portion here a BPR, a balanced price range. And as we know, price like to retrace back to the BPR, and BPR works as a strong level of liquidity for price. Okay, like the retracement that I'm expecting to see inside this BPR may not happen today, but in future we will see like this point will remain as a high priority level for me. This is a very strong level right here, this inversion. Okay, this failed fair value gap, and then this new fair value gap that makes this level a strong liquidity level, which ICT likes to call as a balanced price range or BPR. Okay, we had another BPR right here, right? I was trading inside it. I did live stream when price was inside it, so you can go back and watch the last month live stream. You will be hearing me calling out market from this BPR. And as you can see, price came all the way up in this BPR, but didn't got retraced as we expected, like higher prices, right? We had drawn liquidity higher, but anyway, we can use this this failed BPR as an inversion later in time. Okay, price is now below this inversion, and I would like to see price respecting it and going lower. But in today's price action, I want to see price on delivering buy side liquidity on Dow Jones. This is the PDRA that I'm gonna be taking from the daily chart, this bullish order block. That's it. And now I'm gonna be dropping down to the 4-hour chart. So this is our daily order block that I showed you guys on the daily chart, right? The daily order block mean threshold. This is gonna be working as the last line of defense for me to expect bullish price action today. If price is going below here after providing sell side liquidity, if price is coming down all the way down here, then I would like to see price providing liquidity below this low and then this low, and then stop and move towards the buy side liquidity. If it's not doing that, then this mean threshold of daily order block will work as my last line of defense. Okay, if price is going below there, I have no expectation anymore if price is going below here. But I do have expectation on lower time frame on the hourly chart. This is our 4-hour fair value gap. I'd like to see a small little retracement from here inside here. Okay, so I'm gonna drop down to the hourly chart. what do you see? Price tapped into the BC here, the 4-hour BC, and generated relative equal lows like we saw. Is it relatively equal? Let's see, this low is coming at 34,106 and this low 34,105. Just by one tick it went lower, right? So they are not relatively equal, but there's a SMT, right? If this low is lower than this one on NQ, it is not. Look at that. So that's the SMT. Here I want to see this SMT getting failed, to be honest. And because why I want to see this SMT getting failed, right? HYDRA, we can see relative equal highs here, and as you talk about it, relative equal high means strong level of liquidity. Then why don't you just want to see price coming all the way up, clearing this level out? Why not, right? I'm gonna explain to you that, and for that I'll have to take you back to the NQ chart. Look at that. We have higher time frame, strong PD area level like here. Okay, because of this BC which is unfilled, and because price generated relative equal lows on the NQ chart, I would like to see the Dow Jones dropping a little bit more. Okay, most possibly, like I would like to see price clearing out liquidity from here and then expanding higher. Okay, price don't need to come all the way down here to like provide sell side liquidity. Already did that aggressively. Like look at the lows here that price generated and cleared out, but it left buy side liquidity. So we have our relative equal highs here that I don't want to see price clearing out now, because I'm a time based trader. So I would like to see price clearing this level out like at 10 o'clock or at 9:30 in Judas. So we have a fair value gap here on the hourly chart on Dow, and this is gonna be my drawn liquidity for today's price action. I'm expecting to see price coming all the way up here, tapping here, and if I like align the narrative that I have on Dow with the NQ chart, then I would like to see NQ remaining like aggressively bullish, stronger than Dow. I'm expecting NQ to come all the way up here, which is gonna be a deep premium. But on Dow, I'm only expecting to see price reaching into this fair value gap. Okay, into a not deeper premium. If price is going all the way up above these swing highs, then it's gonna be like a deep premium, and I would like to see like a deeper retracement into the discount. But based on the six sister concept, I'm looking at NQ, which is stronger, and that makes sense to me. That's why I'm expecting to see NQ clearing out the swing high. Okay, but on Dow, I want to see price only tapping inside this CB right here, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. If I drop down to the 15-minute chart, it will make a lot more sense why I'm expecting to see a retracement from here. Do you guys see relative equal highs here? Yes, that makes this level a strong liquidity level. So if price is coming all the way up here, look at how many relative equal highs that price generated here, then here, right? If price is providing liquidity here, it providing a strong level of buy side liquidity. Then we got another strong level of buy side liquidity here, then a gigantic pool of liquidity, which is this CB, right? So because of these relative equal highs, I'm expecting to see a retracement from here, and we have a breaker block here, which is going to be working as a last line of defense for me to expect lower price action once price reaches all the way up here. Okay, I'm talking about the future. I'm predicting price. I'm expecting a price to come all the way up here. Then I also have in mind what price should do after that. After it reaches my target, what's going to be the next drawn liquidity? This, and then the lower level of liquidity that price will generate here. We will see that. So I hope everything is clear, right? Did everything made sense? Apple Junior is asking how to find S&P 500 in TradingView. You don't know that? Okay. You go to your left section in your trading view chart. You tap into this section that goes by like the watch list, details and news. You tap here, then there's a plus icon. You tap here, then you type like ES1. You press here, E-mini S&P 500 features. Okay. Once you click here, then you should be clicking into this sniper. Like go to the symbol button. It will take to you your ES chart, and then you will have to purchase a subscription that will be like $6 in American. Yeah, that's it, and then you will be able to see what I'm showing to you here. How to change the hours. You guys really need to watch what ICT talked about in his live stream yesterday. A lot of you guys haven't even watched his live stream from yesterday, and you are like mentioning yourself as an ICT student. Really? You are not. Do you really need like the premium subscription to change the hours? I didn't know that. Like I think you can change it even if you don't have the premium subscription. You just have to like drop down to the lower time frame, I guess. On daily chart it doesn't work. Is it okay now, Dale? Can you hear me? Can you please explain how to spot CB and BC? Just the regular fair value gap. If you watch like ICT 2022 mentorship bit that he did in his then in his like YouTube channel, you'll be able to understand how to identify fair value gap, BC, CB. Like the positive fair value gap is a BC. The negative fair value gap that supports price towards the sell side liquidity, it's a CB. It's simple. Safdar, I really understand that, but yeah, live trading on crypto is like pretty frustrating for me because crypto doesn't move like this. Okay, it will move like aggressively. When it does that, it's okay, we can trade, but the moves happens like it takes time in crypto for a move to happen. Suppose I'm taking a trade with a breaker block setup. So for me to do that, I'll have to first build a narrative, then wait for a breaker block to form. And if I'm doing this thing on like the indices chart, then it's gonna be like in an hour I'll be able to find a setup that I'll be able to present in front of you. But on crypto, it's different. For a setup to be like to present itself on the crypto chart, it takes a lot of time. And if I'm like live streaming for 3-4 hours, it just doesn't worth it. Okay, not many of you are interested like seeing me trading crypto. I get like very less viewers, so overall I think I'm not gonna be like doing any live session on crypto. But if I see any setup like that I'm confident in, I'll do that. And you can watch my previous live sessions and the live sessions that I'm doing here. Everything is same on crypto and indices. Whatever I'm talking here and the concept that I'm using, you can apply the same concept on any time frame on crypto. They will work. Okay, so if you know how to navigate on your own chart like the ES and Q or like the Dow Jones, you will be able to navigate in any other charts. I'm not talking about Forex. Forex moves different, but on crypto you will be able to do that. What do I mean by the Forex moves difference? Okay, I'm an equal high and equal low trader. I would like to see these levels are getting taken out. But on Forex, what it does, like it generates relative equal lows, then it uses the low as like a rejection block, and it just doesn't like clearly takes out the lows. It just comes near to it, then it retraces back. That's what I don't like to see in Forex, in trading, in price action. So that's the reason. That's one of the reason I avoid trading on Forex. Okay, so that's the whole view. I'm gonna be waiting for the news to deliver right now. We have a 8:30 news, which is the unemployment claims. I'm not expecting a lot of volatility at 8:30 news. It's just a regular news, unemployment claims. But at 9, like at 10 o'clock, I'm expecting to see a little bit more volatility. But we'll see, and I'll just tape read, okay? Not like really pushing the button or forcing any trade idea, but we'll look for setup, but will not be taking those setup as our live execution. So we have a fair value gap here on NQ 150-minute chart, which is at a premium level, right? From this dealing range, from this high to this low, it's a premium level. It's the basic concept. So let's see if price comes all the way up here. If it's coming all the way up here, then on the on 3-minute and 1-minute chart, I would like to see a breaker block forming inside here, or like any other setup, inversion that will also work, like an order block that will also work, anything. So we'll look for that here. So this is our premium PDRA from the 15-minute chart. This is a CB which is unfilled. That makes it a strong fair value gap. Let's see if price taps inside here, like in between this time frame. I want to see price tapping here, like inside the 829 period. If price is not doing that, then I literally have no expectation other than seeing price coming all the way down here. Okay, I don't see any breaker block forming here inside. Price action is gonna be choppy like this because of the high impact news that we are gonna be having. So not really suitable to take a live trade, but it's very much suitable to tape read, and I'm interested in that today. I'm interested in tape reading today's price action, and as you can see, price is just consolidating. Just avoid this. It's all time distortion, okay? If you don't know time distortion, you can check out 2021 mentorship that ICT had. Like, that's a private mentorship. Yeah, so you will have to look for like the leaked ICT private mentorship videos. If you find that, then go into like the 2021 mentorship, I think in May or June. I'm not sure, but either in between these 2 months, he talked about the time distortion. What is that? I'll just simply talk about it. Price likes to like chop around like this in a consolidation range, and that's what he calls like a time distortion. And he will have a lecture in future, I guess, or maybe he's gonna be putting that stuff in his book. So once he does that, we'll have like a deeper knowledge about what time distortion does. But basically what I understood from 2021 mentorship from that video is like price just waits for a specific time to deliver, and until then it just consolidates. And that's what ICT mentions as time distortion. And it goes a lot more deeper. I'm not gonna be talking about those parts because of course it's just a leaked content, so you'll have to find it by yourself. And it's really important, it's really interesting if you're trading, and consolidation is a regular thing, right? If you are not like familiar with consolidation, it will affect your trading. Why price consolidates like this, like when price will stop consolidating like this. These are the questions that you need answers. And ICT is like doing a lot of stuff these days in his like free videos, so I think it's not really, if you are not interested in watching those leaked videos from his old mentorship, then it's okay, it's fine. But to me, like price action is same. Even the price action that ICT was calling like in 2021, that same price action will re-deliver in this year's price action, right? It will be the same. So to me, it's important. That's why I watched everything. It's not like I was using any of his concept to make or put in my own mentorship, but rather to watch how he did in those price action, right? the same price action will repeat. So if you can watch like mentor commenting about and calling price before it happened throughout like 2-3 years of data, then isn't it amazing? You have like 2-3 years of data ICT calling market. Yeah, ICT is gonna be saying like those videos are not important, but it is important. So if you can like look for it, then yeah, look for it and watch it. You won't find like new concepts there. Whatever he's talking there is like he already mentioned in his YouTube playlist. But the important thing is like he is predicting price before it's happening in live data, and that's what it does not do. Trust me, he don't do that in for us in free sections like in YouTube or in Twitter. He don't do that. So that's something that you can watch. Like I was watching the 2021 mentorship, and he was literally calling price every single week. Like dollar will go there, and not just that, it was explaining like why this PDRA should work as a support for dollar, right? It's not like applicable in today's price action, but the same price action will repeat, right? That's the thing. That's why I watched it. So if the same price action is repeating and I'm getting a commentary from my mentor, it's definitely interesting for me, and I'm always gonna be down for it. So price is just consolidating, and we have our relative equal highs here, unfilled fair value gap. So this is gonna be ideal situation scenario if price is coming all the way up and tapping inside this CB here and then retracing. Raphael, good morning. And yeah, my live streams are gonna be recorded, so you can watch it after like I'm done with it. But I'm not gonna be making any specific video or anything else other than what already mentor made about one strategy for life. And I think he did a very good job there. It's very simple strategy, 3 concepts that he introduced to us. It's very simple, and you can watch it there, and I guess you will understand what he's talking about. So nothing to trade read here until price reaches this level, this CB here. I'm watching this CB, and I want to see price coming all the way up, tapping inside this CB before going lower. I'm not bullish right now, I'm bearish until we tap inside this daily fair value gap, right? This daily BC, do you guys remember from the daily chart? This BC is unfilled. We have our London session low here, so I like to see price coming all the way up and then going lower. So let's see how price delivers. Our news is releasing. Yes, price tapped inside this fair value gap, right? So now let's wait for a retracement lower. We have our breaker block right here. This is not the lowest down close candle, so it's not like the ideal breaker block, but as we are tape reading, I like to see price going below here. And even if price is providing like a very high probability setup today, I won't be pushing any button. I don't care whatever kind of setup price wanna present in front of me, it can do that. Very less that I care. So if you are in a mindset to take like setups from my live stream today, it won't happen. Rather, I'm focusing on tape reading. So this is a breaker on 3-minute chart. Let's see how price behaves from this breaker. Okay, we expected to see price coming all the way up, tapping inside this fair value gap, and I explained to you why it should do that. We have our relative equal highs here. Now price has relative equal lows down here, which is the London session low, plus a unfilled daily fair value gap, which is standing here as a strong fair value gap. So let's see what price does. Don't take my word for it, and don't push the button here. Okay, you should not be doing it. So if you're thinking about pushing button here or below like this breaker, no, don't do it. Let's wait. Price went all the way up, filled the fair value gap from the 50-minute chart and hit the order block from the 50-minute chart, this order block. So now let's see if price uses this order block to retrace lower. If not, then it will hunt relative equal highs here, and possibly I would like to see this fair value gap getting revisited and then this inversion. But I would like to see price getting retraced from this order block. Okay, that makes this fair value gap a strong fair value gap because it's aligning with this order block. Now let's wait. Let's see what price does. Inversion 15-minute. So as you can see, price hit our 50-minute order block right here. We have a long wick on 3-minute chart. If I measure it, the consequent encroachment of this wick will be here. So price is allowed to come all the way up and hit the consequent encroachment, but I don't want to see price going above the consequent encroachment here. If price is doing that, then this buy side liquidity will be my point of interest. So there's a bullish bullish breaker block that worked here. As I'm looking at the 1-minute chart right now, let me talk about that a little bit. And it's gonna be a hindsight talk. So we have our lower low right here, all right, relative equal lows right here, then a new low. So these up close candles here are worked as a bullish breaker right here, and price closed the candles body above here. The same logic that I teach you guys. Then price tapped into this breaker block, last bullish candle, okay, in this week, and then it moved higher. Not tradable, but it's there. The breaker block is there. It's gonna be there always, okay? In every news move, everything, like in every price delivery, you will find a breaker block that price is respecting. You may not be able to like use it in your own price action, or may not be able to like take a trade from it, but you can learn from it, right? You can journal these things, like this is gonna be the 8:30 news delivery that went above the breaker block, activated the breaker block, then it moved higher, right? So price went all the way higher, and did it cleared out this high? No, not really. Price generated relative equal highs here. We have a order block right here. So this is a reclaimed order block. Let's see if price is using it as a bullish order block to provide higher prices, as we have a relative equal high here. Let's see what price does. This bullish order block, I'm talking about this one. So if price is respecting it and hunting these relative equal highs, then it's a bullish order block. But if price is going below it, we can use this order block as a reclaimed order block to like see price providing support towards the sell side liquidity. Daniel is asking, like, if different time frames, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, have different wick sizes, how do you know which consequent encroachment to look at? Where I'm trading, I'm looking for trades, like not looking for the setups that I'm gonna be taking, but Mainly I use 3-minute and 1-minute chart. And if you are building a narrative, suppose there's a week in 5 minutes, it doesn't matter in which chart is longer or not. What matters is that like in which time frame you are looking for an entry. If you are looking for an entry in 5-minute chart and there is a big week on 5-minute chart, then you should be like marking the consuming and encroachment from the 5-minute. If you are trading like me on 3-minute chart, as I told you guys, like I basically trade on 3-minute and 1-minute chart. So yeah, that's the week that I'm gonna be considering, and that's how I do it. I hope it answers your question. This order block mean threshold, if it's broken, then it's a reclaimed order block. We still have our relative equal highs intact here. So the mean threshold of this order block is gonna be somewhere here. Yeah, the mean threshold of this order block is broken. Let's see. Let's wait for the candle's body closure. Wicks it does the damage. Okay. All the liquidity that price has is resting inside the candle's body, and the body is below the order block right here. Right. Forget about the wick. Look at the body. Bodies are respecting the order block from the 50-minute chart. So let's see how price delivers. Okay, so mean threshold broken. Price already showed us that it wanna respect this higher time frame order block. So now this bullish order block is gonna be working as a reclaimed order block. Any tap inside, any retracement inside this order block will lead me an entry. I'm talking about like what I'll be doing in a clean day without any news impact. I would like to see price hitting this reclaimed order block. Okay, suppose it's a clean day, I'll take an entry here. I would have taken an entry here and then targeting, like taking a partial in this fair value gap and ultimately targeting the low here. So let's see if price does that. This is our reclaimed order block. So when an order block fails, I see it as a reclaimed order block that should be providing support towards the sell side liquidity now that it's broken. So the trade idea is going to be something like this. I'm tape reading. Okay, I'm saying to you all again, don't use my analysis to take trades today. I know some of you guys do that, but not today. Okay, let's just stop for today. Let's see price provides liquidity down here from this reclaimed order block. We are studying. Today is not a day like to take trades, but to tape read and build your experience, build your knowledge about the price action. Okay, there's a relative equal high here. Why am I looking for a setup that is gonna be hunting sell side liquidity? Okay, that can be a question, a very good question. HYDRA, you can see relative equal high here. That's a strong level of liquidity. Then why are you not expecting to see price coming all the way up and clearing this level out? Because of the candle's body, which are inside the order block of 50 from the 50-minute chart. Okay, the candle's body, that's where the liquidity is, and because of that, I wanna see price like providing sell side liquidity. Let's see. That's why it's not a high probability setup. Time is not aligning with it. Okay, me personally, I like to take trades inside the macro zones, and after like 8:35, mostly I considered that time zone from 8:35 till 9:20 as a manipulation range. Safdar, crypto basically is not a joke, but if you wanna like trade inside crypto, then it requires a lot more patience than we show in our CFD chart, indices charts. Crypto is like for the patient people. Okay, so in crypto you will have to wait for a setup to present itself for days. Okay, because crypto goes into consolidation, long consolidation. When it's delivering, when it's in a delivery mood, it's gonna be delivering like aggressively in a low resistance liquidity run. When it's not, it's gonna be consolidating for like days, and you won't be able to find any setup. So if you don't know like what you were doing, then yeah, you should not be like looking into crypto for now. If you are new, only trade on like your own chart, like the indices. And after that, once you are good in your own chart, you are able to like consistently find new setups, and you are making consistent money, then look at crypto. Crypto is not for beginners. Trust me, it's not. Yeah, Daniel, what you were saying, that also works. Like I think there's SMT, right? Let me look at the ES chart. Yes, there's a SMT, but do you see like I didn't need to show this SMT right here to know that price is gonna be dropping. I was just like looking at the candle's body and expecting to see a drop from there, right? So ASMT and then a dollar chart, it basically works as a confirmation, extra confirmation. So here I would be like taking a partial and then moving my stop loss above this order block, this reclaimed order block. Here you will be able to see like a ICT 2022 mentorship model, right? Market structure shift, fair value gap with the market structure shift that makes this fair value gap a strong fair value gap. You put your entry here inside this fair value gap and then lower. But I took the entry, okay? I was tape reading from this reclaimed order block. So you don't really need to look at any other chart. Basically, if you have a good understanding of your own chart, I'm literally honestly not looking at ES. I didn't know that there's SMT there, but I was able to call the market, right? And I like shared the logic behind why I was looking for a setup that will hunt sell side liquidity. Because when price generates a relative equal high like this, it used to confuse me when I was a beginner. I was like, okay, price is now generating relative equal highs here. Then why it's not taking it out? It's a strong level of liquidity, and ICT always says, okay, whenever you see a strong like relative equal highs, you should not be like buying from there or like shorting there until price clears the level out, the relative equal highs, right? And most of the time, like 60 to 65% of the time, you will see like price coming all the way up, generating relative equal highs, and then it's not taking it. So when it does that, you should be building narrative and looking at chart in the candle's body. You should be looking at the higher time frame. I looked at the 50-minute chart, right? 50-minute order block here. Really, I marked it. Then this fair value gap here that made this fair value gap a strong fair value gap. Why? Why is it a strong fair value gap? Because of the order block that we have here. Then I drop down to the lower time frame, right, where the candle's body looks inside this order block, and that's it. I don't need any more confirmation to see a short happening. So it's like a 5-hour trade, right? So when I trade on my live funds, I don't basically go more than 2 hours, but when I'm tape reading, I go as far as 10 hours. I basically don't care, right? I'm building my experience from it. Now I can trade like 2-hour setup without getting emotional. I don't have a mindset to take like setups with 10-hour or 5-hour, but in future I'll have that, and that's what I'm building here. That's the process, okay, folks? I have no shame to tell you guys that I only take 2-hour setups, okay? But I'll be shameful like if I'm saying to you, okay, I'm taking 5-hour setups continuously, which I'm not, but which I'm learning. And as you can see, that's a good entry for a journal from a reclaimed order block. This is not a breaker block. There's like no consecutive down close candles here. If I'm considering this down close candle as a breaker block, I would like to see another down close candle right next to it. That will make it a breaker block, okay? But when there's like a one single down close candle right here, Suppose there's a 3-minute chart and there's this one candle, then I will drop down to the 1-minute chart, and I like to see like consecutive down close candles, and if it's there, I'll consider it as a breaker block. But here I'm in the lowest time frame, the 1-minute chart, and there's no other down close candle than this one, right? So that I'm gonna be considering it as an order block, a reclaimed order block. Why a reclaimed order block? For you to understand that, you will have to watch the video that I made about reclaimed order blocks in my YouTube. I'll take like another partial right here. Price is going below this low here, and basically like price is feeling this fair value gap, and there is a lot of consecutive down close candle which will be working as a bullish order block. So another partial below this low that I would have like taken. What's gonna be the last line of defense in this trade for us to hold, right? As we are studying, we would like to see which level is gonna be the last line of defense for us to expect lower prices in this trade. If prices are like retracing higher, then which one is gonna be the last line of defense? This order block right here. I don't like to see price like coming all the way up and going above this order block. I'm not gonna be holding. So basically my stop loss is gonna be at my entry, and I'll just let this trade run. We have a volume imbalance right here, right? A volume imbalance. Price came all the way up, hit the volume imbalance, and now it's retracing beautifully. So as I tell you guys, like a setup, it's easy, bro. Like a setup will always be there. What you need to understand is how to build a narrative. Do you guys see that I'm just chilling here, sitting still here in my room, and I was able to find out a setup here, right? With logic behind it, with a complete logic. I was calling market here, a drop from this fair value gap, then I mentioned this order block, right? I was building a narrative because I know if I have a clean narrative, a narrative that price will respect, then a setup is easy. I'll be able to find setup everywhere if I know where price is going. Suppose I know price is gonna be delivering buy side liquidity here, right? Suppose you knew it, then how many setup you will be able to find here? A lot of setup. I'll be able to tell you a setup with a breaker block here, then order block here, then inversion fair value gap here. There's a lot of setup. A setup is not what you should be worrying about, and most of you are doing that. That's not the thing that you should be like considering about, but the narrative. Okay, everyone tells to build the narrative first, and everyone knows it, but no one basically like wanna work for it. So we have a 3-minute fair value gap here, and on the lower time frame we have a volume imbalance here, right? Beautiful delivery from this reclaimed order block. Could have not been in a macro. What could have not been in a macro? Like why this setup is not inside the macro, right? It's a newbie thing. It's a newbie question. So a lot of you ask me questions when you see me like executing outside of macro, and the question generally goes like, HYDRA, you always talk about taking setups inside macro, then why are you taking setups outside of macro? Inside and near macro there will be setups, okay, but that doesn't mean like you should be taking all the setups in your live funds. When I'm showing you an execution, you don't really know like if I'm taking this setup in my live funds. Me, I strictly follow the rules to take setups inside my macro hours. Okay, the macros that I shared with you all, the 820 to 830, then the 920 to 930 macro. Okay, these two macro, then there's other macros. I like to take a setup near when price is near to the macro and I have a clean narrative. I'll take a setup early, like suppose 5 minutes early. I'm not taking a setup that like 10 minutes earlier than the macro starts. It's just like 2-3 minutes, or like 2-3 minutes before the macro ends, after the macro ends. So it's always near to the macro. Okay, the executions is always near to the macro, so that makes sense. But other than that, every execution that you will see me taking outside of the macro is on demo. Okay, I'm just testing out the setup, and like if I have a, what am I gonna be saying, like a continuous, if I'm making consistent money from a setup in a different time zone outside of my macro, then I will take the setup in my live funds, not before that. So I'll need a data for me to push the button in my live funds. I have a data that shows that breaker block inside the macro is a high probability setup, so I'm gonna be using that setup to take inside my macro. And when I say like a breaker block always forms inside the macro, it's not like a breaker block, specifically a breaker block forms. There will be a reclaimed order block setup, there can be like a regular order block setup, there can be like a 2022 mentorship setup, any setup. Okay, whatever setup that works for you, look for that setup inside the macro hours, macro zones. Okay, no profit, dude. Yesterday I was doing homework and I saw an order block mean threshold being closed after liquidity taken and then still continuing bullish. What do I miss? Can you please share the chart image with me in the Telegram, or you can directly message me in Telegram, then I'll be able to like say to you what happened. Without looking at the chart, I really can't. I hope you understand. So as you can see, price is like in a high resistance liquidity round right now, as we expect to see. After, like, a lot of you may not agree with me what I'm saying to you, like after 8:35 till 9:20, price likes to manipulate. Okay, and I do see in my chart, on 1 minute chart, price manipulates in between that time like 85% of the time. If I put it in a ratio, that's a high ratio, right? And price likes to manipulate in between these times. As you can see, I'm coming out every day in front of you and showing you setups, and inside of this time zone price manipulates, and you are watching it live. Look at the delivery level right now. We know price is gonna be going lower here, right below this swing low, but is it doing it like aggressively? No, it's in a high resistance liquidity run. That's what you want to avoid in your trading, because when price is in a high resistance liquidity run, it generates a lot of emotion inside you. You are gonna be doubting your setup. You are gonna be like not in a clean mindset that you need to be profitable. Okay, so a clean mindset, a clean mind, without worrying about a setup or without worrying about a loss, that's what you need. By the way, guys, be honest, did anyone took this setup? So a beautiful delivery, basically like with partials, it's gonna be like a 3-hour trade because of the partials. And if you're like, if you didn't took a partial, then it's gonna be like a 5-hour trade. And I'm proud of you, all of you that like didn't took this setup, right? Yeah, you are not John Smith. You are so right, because he is saying like, no, I don't trust. You should not be trusting anyone else other than yourself to push button in your own life funds. And the folks who took it, it's on you, okay? The risk is on you. I'm literally saying like, don't take it, but if you're taking it, don't blame me if you are losing. So that's a beautiful setup that we tape read live. There was a relative equal low, drawn liquidity. Look at the other charts. Look at ES. I'm gonna be talking about the ES a little bit now because of the delivery. It's interesting price action. Right, so our drawn liquidity right now is these relative equal lows. I'm not bullish until price takes out these relative equal lows and hits this unfilled fair value gap right here. Right, so I'm just gonna be like waiting. I'm just gonna be waiting right now. It's like a no trading zone for me, even like no tape reading zone. 9 o'clock to 9:20, that's the time like price manipulates the most. Yeah, the folks who are waiting right now, like me, to trade after 10, you guys have a future in this industry, because I was doing the same thing when I wasn't profitable. Okay, I was waiting for a setup. I was patiently waiting. I was building patience inside me, and that patience lead me here now. Okay, I can call market without getting emotional. Even if like if this setup was like hitting my stop loss, I don't really care, because I know this time is not for me to trade. The time for me to trade is from when there's like no news, or when price is like in a low resistance liquidity run. If I know that price is gonna be in a high resistance liquidity run, what's the point of me being emotional and taking a trade? So we have a higher high here, a new higher high. This down close candle, let's see if these down close candles are working as a breaker block, right? Not a like a high probability breaker block, but let's see what price does. This is gonna be working as a last line of defense, this breaker block, for me to expect aggressive delivery towards this low, this London session sell side liquidity. And as you can see from the 3-minute breaker block, right, let me mark it clearly, correctly. Okay, it's there. As you can see, small little retracement. That's what you like to see. That's what you want to see in a high probability breaker block, right? This is not a setup that I'm going to be outlining. This is not a high probability setup. It's just there. These breaker blocks are there. So I would like to see like how price delivers from here. And if price is going above any of these swing highs, okay, and hitting this fair value gap again, we will have this down close candle as a breaker block. So at 9:30 delivery, we can use this breaker block to hunt liquidity in this level, the London session sell side liquidity. Okay, so another tip that I'm gonna be sharing with you all here, okay, if this order block is if this breaker block is working, Okay, it's okay, but it is a low probability breaker block. Why? Let me explain that to you. Because of the fair value gap right next to it. This fair value gap makes it a low probability setup. Even if it's working here in a long term, you won't see a breaker block working which has a fair value gap right next to it like this. Okay, from my journaling, I found out that when price generates a breaker block and it has a fair value gap, like this beefy fair value gap, this big fair value gap, right? It doesn't matter if it got failed or price is using it as an inversion. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when price has fair value gap like this right next to the breaker block. That makes a breaker block a low probability breaker block. When a breaker block gets generated, you don't want to see any fair value gap right next to it. Okay, if a fair value gap is in the upper quadrant, it's okay, but anywhere below, you don't want to see it. Like here, we have a reclaimed order block here, right? Then there's no fair value gap right next to it. That makes this reclaimed order block a strong reclaimed order block. When there's no fair value gap right next to it, a fair value gap can be right here, right? But not here. That's what you should not be expecting. And I'm not gonna be like going deeper inside it, but that's the tip. If you like if you journal your breaker block setup, you will see like when there's a fair value gap right next to it like this, price likes to not to respect the breaker block, and when there's like no fair value gap right next to it, price usually likes to respect that breaker block. So that's a small tip if you are using breaker block as your entry model, and if you are journaling, then look for that in your journal and you will find it. It's there, always there. Vabs is asking, if price is near equilibrium, and then how do you decide on narrative if it will take first sell side liquidity or buy side liquidity? Okay, what you were asking, I'll have to read it again. If price is near equilibrium, then how do you decide on narrative if it will take first the sell side liquidity? What equilibrium? Like if I'm expecting short, okay, from equilibrium, and then I would like to see, I'll drop down to the lower time frame. Okay, I'm not just basically marking a equilibrium and then expecting to see a short from equilibrium, right? Here was a equilibrium right here. From this from this swing high to this low, the equilibrium is here. But am I just expecting to see a short from the equilibrium once price reaches into the equilibrium? No, I'm marking the PDRAs, like the order block, the fair value gap. Equilibrium alone is nothing. A fair value gap alone is nothing. You need a narrative behind it, and that's how I build it. I don't just look at the equilibrium separately, but aligned with the higher time frame PDRAs, like I did here. Okay, yes, price came all the way up in the equilibrium and then it showed willingness to reject, but from where specifically? Where is the precision in the higher time frame PDRAs like this order block? Okay, so do you guys see why this breaker block got failed? Yes, because of the fair value gap right next to it. Most of the time, folks, when a breaker block is coming with a fair value gap right next to it like this, that breaker block will fail. So that will save you. I'm not going to be talking about this kind of stop, because this kind of stop goes a lot deeper, right? I'm talking about deep inside the breaker block setup. You always see it, but you don't really know it. Renato is saying, hello bro, why are you expecting the short you took? I try short in 15-minute fair value gap here, and he ran to order block before drop. You can explain. I just open stream now. I explained everything before taking the setup, so if you kindly just rewind it a little bit, like go back to the time period when I was just started talking about the setup, like mentioning about a fair value gap, right? This fair value gap, but I didn't short it from this fair value gap specifically. Okay, I waited for price to like deliver, to open its hands in front of me, like to show me where it's going, right? I know price is gonna be going, reaching for this fair value gap. When price was here, I was calling it, right? Price came all the way up. Then did I short it once price hit this fair value gap? No, I was waiting for what? For price to reject. price remained bullish, aggressively bullish, hit this order block. Then I waited to see where price is closing its candle's body, right? Price closes candle's body inside higher time frame PD area, which is like the 50-minute order block, right? And then I took a short from on 1-minute chart from this reclaimed order block. So there's a lot of stuff. If you like are new, things will get confused because I'm basically like using higher time frame to build a narrative, and then I'm looking at the higher time frame but pushing button on lower time frame. So that's something like comes with experience. And yeah, so as you can see, price came all the way up and hit this fair value gap again. This 3-minute fair value gap. So do you guys see now? A 3-minute fair value gap is a unicorn. Sorry, a 3-minute chart. What am I saying? Not a 3-minute fair value gap, but a 3-minute chart is a unicorn. If you are like trading into the lower time frame, I highly recommend you to look at 3-minute chart. Okay, if I have to give you a tip about higher time frame charts or the lower time frame charts, like which chart should I be focusing on, then you should be focusing on the 3-minute chart and then the 1-minute chart. 2-minute, yes you can, but 3-minute is like the high probability. So price respected this small little separation here, which is the volume imbalance, right? Do you guys see it? Price respected it beautifully. Look at that. Look at the candle's body. Okay, you may not be able to push the button here. You don't need to. You wait to see where price is closing its candle's body. Suppose if you are expecting to see a short from this 3-minute fair value gap, then you should be dropping down to the 1-minute fair value gap, looking at this fair value gap. Price came all the way up, tap it. Okay, then you will be looking for the precision. Where is the precision? Inside of the candle's body, where price is closing its candle's body. Wait, you will have to be patient enough to see chart like this. Okay, if you push the button as soon as price hits the fair value gap, you will never know how price is delivering. If you wait and see where price is closing its candle's body, which is below this volume imbalance and this fair value gap, right? You wait at this candle, you execute at this candle. Once price goes below this last bullish candle, which is working here as an order block, as a bearish order block, okay, you execute right there once price goes below here. Because price is highly indicating me that it wanna remain bearish by closing its candle's body below this volume balance, below this fair value gap. So where is the volume? Towards the sell side liquidity. Where's the gravity? Okay, if I put it that way, the gravity is on the sell side. Trader Dad is saying you should put a pair and time frame indicator on your chart. It would be very helpful. Why? You are watching me in 2K, and then there's the NQ chart here, I think, which is very clearly visible. Then the time frame here, right? Then on this chart, here's the level, here's the time frame. What do you need more? Like to me to toggle on like the, I know what you were talking about, like there's, let me see if I have that. I don't really use it because of like it, I like my charts clean. Where is it? Precision, symbol, logo, title, indicator, title, scale. Oh, the here watermark. It's good now. Look at the chart now. It's looking messy. Okay, I forgot to mention about the BPR, right? Thank you guys for watching it before me mentioning it. So yeah, there's a BPR. So I was just looking at this one, this fair value gap. I didn't really notice this this BPR, but here it is. All right, another example of a BPR, which I mentioned as a gigantic pool of liquidity. Right, that's a BPR. And as you know, whenever you see a BPR, you basically don't need a narrative once you have a BPR. BPR is like one of the strongest PD array in ICT concept. If I put the PD arrays in the strongest category, then I'll be like putting the breaker block first and then the BPR. And in a fair value gap category, BPR will be always coming in the first place. And then in the second place is gonna be like the failed fair value gap, which is an inversion. And then in the like the normal fair value gap is gonna be in the third category, which is the lowest high probability setup. But the highest high probability setup is from the BPR. As you can see, every single time I outlined a BPR in front of you in my live stream, price came all the way up here, retraced back from the BPR. Okay, you can be confident in your setup like this if you are watching a BPR. I'm just gonna hide the watermark because it don't really looks good. Like this, I prefer my charts like this, clean, neat and clean. Only the things that I wanna see, nothing else, nothing more. Clean chart that helps me to build a clean narrative. BPR plus breaker block unicorn, like something like this. Very rarely. Okay, that's something. Okay, Nakim Nedi, forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but you were saying like BPR plus breaker block. You'll very rarely find a setup like this. Like me, if I saw any breaker block with BPR, or if I took any setup, I never found a setup with a breaker block plus a BPR. No, I haven't. Breaker block doesn't usually come like this. Okay, you won't find a BPR inside a breaker block. You will find a BPR separately, but not inside of it. I never found it in my 2 years of trading. Yeah, this was a plus setup. But this drop, I saw it before anyone saw it. I saw it from here. But was I holding this trade? No, I was getting done with low hanging fruits. That's what you should do when newbie folks see setups like this. They're like, okay, next time I see a setup like this, I'm gonna be holding 10R and I'm gonna be rich with one setup. It never happens, folks. Okay, target like the lowest 2R, 3R, your low hanging fruit. You don't need price to come all the way down here to make you profitable. Price can reach here, then here. You can take partials in this fair value gap. That will make you profitable. Right, so we have our low here. I literally been preaching since the morning that I want to see price clearing out this low, right? I navigated throughout the whole price action here. I called this up move, then this down move in this relative equal lows, right? So what I was doing, building a narrative. Every single time I'll come back to the narrative and I'll make you bored listening. I'll force you to listen about the narrative. Narrative. It's always the first thing that you should be focusing on. Right, I'm expecting to see bullish price action once price hit this daily fair value gap at 9:30 or at 10 o'clock news. Type Jack, thank you for the sub. So we are just waiting. We know where the drawn liquidity is. We don't care about like what price is doing right here, right? But as I see, we have a breaker block right here. Price closed the candle body below the breaker block. These down close candles are working as a breaker block. Okay, so if price is retracing back here, then suppose it's a clean day, I'll look for entry from here. It's outside of my macro zone, but yeah, it's there. If it's there, like suppose if price is consolidating here and price is inside the 920 to 930 period, that will match with our time plus setup. Okay, setup is here. I just need time to align with it. It's 917 every single day, folks. You will see a breaker block forming inside of our macros, and it's here. Okay, so here goes another setup for you from this breaker block. Price retrace back to it. This order block will be working as your stop loss. So suppose I was taking this setup, then I'm not really taking it. Okay, I'm tape reading. So if you want to push the button, risk is on you. Don't tell me like if you won. Don't tell me if you lose money. It's on you, completely on you. I'm not trading this setup. Even on demo, I'm not pushing button. So this is the breaker block setup that I see. This order block will work as the last line of defense. I don't want to see price coming all the way up, hitting this fair value gap. I want to see this fair value gap just like unfilled and working as a breakaway gap. So let's see how price delivers. Breaker. Okay. Why is it a breaker? Higher high, new higher high. If you are following just a pattern, then the pattern is there. But if you are following a narrative like me, then this high reached to the premium PD area, hit the BPR, right at the same time it cleared out the buy side liquidity from here. Then it came all the way down, lower low, new lower low. Then we have our sell side liquidity right here, which are relatively equal lows right here. Okay, so because of this low, I do see a breaker block here because of the narrative that I have. So let's see if price is respecting this breaker block. I'm not forcing any setup. Okay, I'm not forcing any trade idea, as I'm not gonna be pushing button in my live funds. Rather, I'm open to learning. I want to see if price respect my analysis today. Even on a high impact news day like this, if price respect my analysis. If I know a setup is always going to be there, then why should I worry about pushing the button here today? Tomorrow I can do the same thing. The day after that, throughout my whole live session, I can do the same thing. Right? So I'm not the one who's going to be worrying about a setup. For me, setup is easy, bro. Narrative, that's what you are going to be focusing on if you want to learn from me. So this fair value gap, I want to see it getting filled. And working as an inversion. Okay, this fair value gap, I don't want to see price going like above this fair value gap. That's a BC, right? I want to see it getting filled as it did here. And I want to see price respecting this fair value gap as an inversion to get support towards the sell side liquidity. Does it make sense? If it makes sense, can you just hit the thumbs up button for me? Can we do that, folks? 200 people watching. Can we thumbs up the like button? So a partial in this trade will be below this low right here. Okay. So I'll like suppose if I was trading this setup, I'll just move my stop loss in the mean threshold of this order block. Once price gives me a partial, I'll move my stop loss in the break even. We have the BPR where there's no BPR here. We only have a BPR right here. Do you guys see a BPR here? Someone is mentioning about a BPR here. There's no BPR here. It takes a lot of time to not to push a button even after you see a setup. Okay, and that's what you will have to fight for. I'm not gonna be saying like work for, but to fight for. You literally have to go in a war with your emotions. Beautiful drop from this inversion. I wanna see price remaining aggressive towards the sell side liquidity. A partial is gonna be here. This is a 3-hour trade, so with a partial it's gonna be like 2.5-hour trade, or 2 hour basically. T-Bag is asking, what's the difference between a BPR and the inversion? Okay, there's a partial, there's your partial, and partial is done. Right, so this trade right now is a risk-free trade. So my stop loss is gonna be my at break even. Okay, and I'm just gonna let this trade run toward this fair value gap. If it's hitting my stop loss, it can, as I got a partial right now here. And with the partial, even with the partial, this trade is gonna be more than 3 hour. So the drawn liquidity is right here inside this daily fair value gap. Okay, so I forgot to answer the question. What's the difference between a BPR and a fair value gap, right? Fair value gap, when you see one fair value gap, right? I'm gonna be giving you an example here. That's a normal fair value gap. So what's the difference between this fair value gap and the BPR? When you see two fair value gap aligning with each other like this, when two fair value gaps are next to each other, like this is a fair value gap and there's another fair value gap right next to it, that makes it a BPR. A simple concept. And that's it. There's your BPR. Why are you guys taking my setups? I'm gonna block you. So it's 927. I want to see this inversion providing support for price again towards the sell side liquidity. Another partial here below these relative equal lows, and the TP is here inside this fair value gap. Now I'm gonna be making my stop loss, putting my stop loss here, and I got stopped out. So that's basically I got two partials from this setup. And do you guys like it? If you liked me calling the market live in front of you with logic, can I expect to see a thumbs up from you? I'm back. Sorry folks, I had a call and I had to pick it up, but I'm here again. So let's see what price did. Okay, let's talk about how price did the delivery from the 930. I was expecting to see price tapping inside this daily fair value gap, but it left it just by a couple of tick. Like how many tick? 2, 3 tick. Wow, why? Why price did that, right? If price was tapping inside this daily fair value gap, right, I would have had another breaker block setup right here. But anyway, let's focus on the 10 o'clock delivery that is incoming. We still have this fair value gap unfilled, and our order block is gonna be getting filled. London session low, price cleared it out. So the relative equal high that it had here, price cleared it too. We have our buy side liquidity right here. So I'm trying to build a narrative again, so that will take time, so we'll have to bear with me when I'm doing it. Okay, let's see if price gets rejected from this inversion. Okay, I'm bullish. As I was telling you all from the beginning of my live stream, I was preaching about bullish price action, right? So I'm bullish, but I really didn't like this price action here. I wanted to see a tap inside this daily fair value gap. That would have made my callings a high probability callings, and without getting like confused, I would have been like able to call the market with ease. But here, because of this couple of tick difference, I'm not getting like a strong probability setup. I'm not gonna be I'm not confident in my callings anymore because of this gap. Anyway, price generated relative equal highs here again. That's good. What relative equal highs? Do you guys see highs here on 1 minute chart? Do you guys see that? A lot of relative equal highs, right folks? And this level is coming at 15 or 30. And if you look at the current price action, yeah, relative equal high, clean relative equal highs. So now if price is dropping inside this fair value gap, the daily fair value gap, we will know the 10 o'clock delivery before the Powell actually delivers. Okay, so we don't need Powell. Sorry, who is delivering the news today? I think it's not Powell, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's Powell. Fed Chair Powell testifies. So let's see, a lot of volatility is gonna be coming in. So let's get prepared for that. And I wanna see price tapping into this fair value gap. I still wanna see it. Do you guys see a reclaimed order block here? So Dow looks really good to me right now. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about Dow Jones, the US30, and the pair I was trading like for 2 years, like only this pair. I recently started trading like on NQ for like 2 months, but I have experience like for the past 2 years. I was solely focusing on Dow. So we have our 4-hour fair value gap. The folks who are with me since the beginning, I mentioned about this fair value gap, which is aligning with a daily order block. So this fair value gap should work as a strong retracement, and it should provide support for price towards the buy side liquidity. Now I'm gonna be dropping down to the 3-minute chart where things looks a lot clear. Relative equal lows, price cleared it out. We had relative equal highs here, and the 9:30 delivery cleared that out too. Now it will depend on the narrative. Okay, I do see relative equal highs here, a lot of relative equal highs here, so I'm bullish. I'm strongly bullish on Dow. Okay, until I'm proven wrong, because I don't know what's the news gonna be, but I'm trying to predict based on the price action here, based on the fair value gap and liquidity levels. So this is a 4-hour fair value gap. I would like to see price respecting it and delivering buy side liquidity here. Do you guys see a breaker block here? So the breaker block here is the main point of interest for me, and that's the reason I'm mentioning about US30 now. This is the breaker block right here, and I would like to tape read this breaker block. And what I'm expecting to see, what I'm basically like predicting, this breaker block should provide support for price towards buy side liquidity at 10 o'clock news. So I'm gonna be tape reading this breaker block, and if price is delivering towards the sell side liquidity, I have no interest tape reading US30. But if price is coming like near to this breaker block, I'll have an interest to tape read. So I'm gonna be putting a alert here. If price is somewhere near here, then after that I'll like talk about it. Now I'm gonna mark the liquidity levels from where I want to see price reaching the low hanging fruit levels. This is our like the drawn liquidity, main drawn liquidity, but the low hanging fruit is gonna be here, up here, and then above this swing high. So this is gonna be our low hanging fruit. What do I mean by low hanging fruit? Like the nearest drawn liquidity. I can see the higher drawn liquidity, which are these relative equal highs, but I basically don't need price to reach all the way up there to make me profitable, right? If price is already reaching all the way up here, I'm profitable. At 2-hour trade, I'll be able to get a 2-hour setup if price is delivering liquidity above this swing high. So this is an internal buy side liquidity. Who can tell me why this is an internal buy? Why am I saying it's an internal buy side liquidity? Do you guys know? If you know, can you please like share with us in the chat section? Can you tell me why am I marking this liquidity, this swing high, as internal liquidity? So this is gonna be my point of interest. I would like to see price coming here, so I'll put an I here like this. Yeah, inside a higher time frame dealing range. Okay, don't forget to mention the higher time frame, okay, for the newer folks, because if you are not mentioning it, they will think like, okay, we build a narrative from only like a 50-minute chart, then like a 3-minute chart. No, we always look at the higher time frame. That's from where the narrative comes in. In a 1-minute chart, I'm never building a narrative on 1-minute chart. I'm looking for a setup on lower time frame, but the setup is actually coming from the higher time frame narrative. So yeah, if you are getting bored about hearing the narrative, you should be. That's the most important thing. I'll say a couple more times: narrative, narrative, narrative. That's where you should be focusing on. So this is the dealing range from this high to this low, and this high is inside this dealing range. That's why it's an internal buy side liquidity. Here is an external buy side liquidity, but if you zoom out, this high will become a internal range liquidity. Why? Because it is inside of a higher time frame dealing range, right? This dealing range from this high to this low, all of these are internal buy side liquidity. Up above here, a lot of relative equal high, folks. I'm not bearish, okay, completely. I'm not. If price is delivering against me, it's okay, but I'm not bearish because of the relative equal highs that price has right here. So I'll come back to Dow once price goes above this breaker block here. It's 9:45. We are 5 minutes behind our macro. So the macro works in news delivery? Really? You never thought about like macro working inside of the news zones? Yes, it works, but the delivery is gonna be very aggressive. That's why we avoid trading inside the news. So I'm gonna be focusing on the NQ chart. We had our inversion here. Price didn't show any respect to it. Anyway, because of this, folks, I just want to avoid looking at NQ, but it's okay. I'm only gonna be trading like till 10:10. After that, I'll be closing my stream. So this is a higher time frame fair value gap, right? This fair value gap right here. Let's see from here if price shows any willingness to retrace. I'm looking for a retracement because of this gap here. Okay, this gap is making me confused, and that's why I told you I will not have like a precision in my callings right now because of the edge right here. Every single time I'm expecting to see a bullish price action that will hunt liquidity here, which is my target. Why this high is my target? I talked about it. This is the PM session buy side liquidity. If I move back to the regular trading hours, right? Price cleared out the PM session lows, PM session sell side liquidity, right? The London session lows price. So price right now is efficient towards the delivering sell side liquidity. We have our PM session buy side liquidity from yesterday, which is coming with relative equal highs. So I would like to see price going all the way up there and providing liquidity there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will have to re-watch the video that our mentor, the stream that our mentor did yesterday. If you watch it, you will understand. It's very simple to understand. So this is our regular trading hour gap. I'll be using this gap to look for a setup towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, so this is our opening range gap, regular opening, the trading hours opening. What am I doing? Okay, so any retracement back to this regular trading hour gap should provide support for price towards buy side liquidity. That's what I'm expecting to see. Now let's go back to the electronic trading hours, and as you can see, price did actually provide a liquidity towards the sell side liquidity efficiently, right? Price generated relative equal lows, which works as a strong level of liquidity. Price cleared it out. Now let's see from where actually price gets supports from this regular opening gap. So what I'm gonna do now that I'm on a 5-minute chart, I'll split the charts and I'll put the 3-minute chart here and the 1-minute chart here, as you can see. And this is our regular trading gap. How am I gonna be using this gap to look for setup? That's a very nice question. So I'm gonna be measuring this gap by using the gun box. This is the gun box, and from here all the way up here, these are quadrant levels. So this midway and the upper quadrant will be my point of interest to look for a setup. The price is retracing back here in between this 10-minute, then I'm aggressively bullish, and I would like to see price clearing out the yesterday's PM session highs. Let me check it again if my levels are correct, because when I'm using the quadrant levels like this, the precision matters. Okay, we'll see like price is coming, like just tapping into a level, quadrant level, and then like reversing. So because of that, I like to see like these are in placed correctly. So any retracement, folks, inside this regular trading hour gap will lead us, or I would like to see price getting support towards the buy side liquidity from this regular trading hour gap. So now let's wait. Okay, Dow is crossing the breaker. So I'd like to focus on Nasdaq, but if you are like interested in tape reading Dow, then the breaker that I mentioned, price is closing its candle's body above that breaker now. So if you are interested in that, watch Dow Jones delivering and how US30 is using that breaker that I outlined to provide support towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, that's something to tape read. It's very interesting. It's like insightful. Let's wait. I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit more. So this is the breaker. Okay, I waited for price to come all the way up here. Price did right now. So now we can drop down to the 1 minute chart. Any small little retracement inside this breaker, you can execute here, right in this level right here. You can execute. Not today, I'm not talking about executing today, but the same price action will return tomorrow, the day after that, the day after that. Same logic, same narrative you can use throughout your whole lifetime, and it won't change. Okay, so first of all, focus on your mindset, how to build a mindset that will only tape read, okay, for a couple of months. Once you are good at tape reading, then look for other setups. So that would have worked as an entry for us, right? We are looking for higher prices. That is a level that I want to see price tapping. What is this level? This level that I mentioned. If you don't know it, just rewind my live stream. I talked about it. And ultimately, our point of interest will be this red box here. So I'm just going to be putting a alert here and here. And I'll come back to Dow again once price delivers in these levels, okay? I hope everything is clear. Whatever I'm talking about, I hope you can understand it. So price didn't actually reach all the way down here inside this regular trading hours opening gap, but it's getting support from this small fair value gap here. This BC, buy side imbalance and inefficiency. And look at the 1 minute chart right now. Look and see how I use 3 minute chart and 1 minute chart. Okay, that's what you should be focusing on. Not like when HYDRA is highlighting a setup, I'll wait for that and then I'll take the setup as my personal setup. No, don't do that. What you should be focusing on, how I'm building my narrative, how I'm using a higher time frame, 3 minute chart, and executing and looking for setups on 1 minute chart. How I'm building the narrative with both time frames. Okay, so we have a fair value gap here. Price respected it. Then above this fair value gap on 1 minute chart, we have order blocks. Suppose you miss your entry from this fair value gap, you can execute from this order block up here. So this is a setup, right? I'm not going to be outlining it, but it is here. These order blocks should provide support for price towards buy side liquidity, and price should remain aggressive right now. So I'm just going to be marking it, order block. Here, this is our 3 minute fair value gap. BC 3 minute. So now let's see how price delivers and how you should be reacting to price if you suppose miss a execution from a fair value gap. Then what can you use? The order block that will be coming like this. Do you guys see how price used this order block to get support towards the buy side liquidity? No hindsight here, folks. I'm literally explaining every move that price is doing right now before it's basically doing, right? No one on YouTube does something like this. And that's a challenge. Find me someone who calls market continuously like me, explaining every move, taking you deeper inside every setup. No one does that. So this is the order block, right? So basically the point of me outlining this order block was because if suppose you miss a setup and you were supposed to execute inside of a fair value gap and you missed it, then what can you do after that? You look for order block right next to this fair value gap on lower time frame. Gab, you are blocked. Why are you comparing me with ICT? I'm his student, bro. Look at Dow Jones, look at US30, how US30 is respecting that breaker. On Telegram, before I did this live stream, I told you guys today's price action is gonna be interesting. Do you guys see how interesting today's price action is? Yes, it's respecting every ICT PDRAs. Look at Dow. Dow is so beautiful right now from that breaker. If you are aligning time, the 950 macro, 950 to 1010 macro on Dow Jones, you'll see like how price is respecting time to deliver from the breaker block that I mentioned on Dow Jones. And this is how we can know future before the future actually presents itself. Right? We don't need Powell to come all the way up here and say to me that we'll have a bullish price action. We already know it. We ICT trader know it. We can predict the news before it happens. Don't trust me, I did it many times in my live stream. You can go back and watch it. It's nothing new for me. So this is the drawn liquidity here. This PM session, buy side liquidity. I would like to see price clearing this level out. And if price is reaching all the way up here, it will be hitting the premium PDRA and another premium PDRA from the higher time frame, from the 4-hour chart. This CB should not be broken. It should hold price. If it's getting broken, okay, price will use it as an inversion. That's what I don't want to see. LP trades saying NQ retrace coming. Why? Why NQ retrace is coming? I don't see any retracement here. I want to see price remaining bullish. Okay. This order block will work as the last line of defense for us to expect a run into this PM session buy side liquidity. So to answer your question, Gab, I'm not here to get any supporter. I'm here to show you what I do best. Okay? I never expected me, like 300 people gonna be watching me. I only expected like 50, 30 like this. Okay, so I don't really care about you, to be honest. If you like me, it's okay. But if you say something that is gonna be against me, like I was telling you why, like, anyway, so don't compare me with ICT. That's what you should not be doing. And I wasn't blocking you, bro. I really don't like this news delivery here. Okay, this news delivery is bullshit. Look at the volume and the volatility. That's not what I was expecting. If news is delivering like this, the news is tradable. It's very much tradable. And about the supporter that you talk like Gab, I don't need any supporter. Okay, what am I presenting to you? It's a drug. Okay, when like a dealer sells a drug, does he have any supporter? No, he don't. Why people come to him? Because they're addicted. Okay, if you look at my delivery here every day, you will get addicted with me. You will come back to me even if you don't like me. And about the online relationship, right? I don't really trust about anything about online. It's all fake. Okay, so I don't care like who supports me online, who don't support me. It's all fake, bro. And it's all about like what? Wasting your time? You don't like me, it's okay, but you will come back to me to buy my drugs every single day. It's so good. And you wanna remain high in these drugs, right? You wanna take drugs from me and then you wanna apply the same drug in your own chart, and then you wanna remain high throughout the whole day. Okay, so this is a BC, and I told you guys that I wanna see this BC supporting price towards the buy side liquidity. If this BC was failing, it would have worked as an inversion, and it would have like provided support towards the sell side liquidity. That's what we don't wanna see. We wanna see this PM session buy side liquidity getting taken out. Why is that an order block? You want me to explain it? It's a down close candle. Okay, then it's going with my narrative, so it's an order block. It's a bullish order block. And price respected it. I mentioned about this order block before it happened. So this is gonna be it from my side, folks, and that's it for today. This news delivery, that's not what I was expecting. and now the price is going below this BC. I have no interest to tape read anything right now, so I'm out. That's it from my side today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I think we have news, right? Yes, at 9:45 PMI is very much tradable. So tomorrow I'm gonna be pushing button on my live funds if I see any A plus setups. And if you are like interested in tape reading this NQ chart, watch how price uses this fair value gap as inversion. I'm gonna be closing it here. Watch, look at Dow. Okay, before I do close, I mentioned about a breaker block on Dow. Do you guys remember this breaker block? And I told you guys to watch it, and I told you that this price action inside this breaker block is gonna be interesting, because if you align time with it, 9:50 to 10:10, as I promised to you, all of you, that inside of macro you will find a breaker block setup. Look at it. Look at this news delivery. Okay, you can literally predict news if you have a correct narrative, if you know where price is going. Setup after that, look at that. Setup is easy. I just opened the Dow chart and I was able to find the setup because I know where price is delivering, right? Suppose you took this setup, your entry will be here, target will be here. 2 hours from this setup is easy. So you can tape read it again. It's still there. This setup is still valid. And if you're like supposing this trade, your stop loss should be below the swing low right now. Okay, price is going below the swing low. You were wrong. You were probably wrong. So what's the point of holding? So I hope you guys enjoyed my today's live stream. I called market a couple of times. I hope you find it insightful. This is gonna be it for today. I'll be catching you guys tomorrow. Take care and don't force any trade idea. Bye. Peace.